I have a nice trigonometry problem for the channel today that comes from the Austin Peay State University 2004 math contest. And this is on the pre-calculus section of that test. So it tells us that x is in the first quadrant and y is in the second quadrant. And that sine of x is 4 over 5 and cosine of y is negative 1 over 5. And then asks us to find sine of x plus y. So I think a good place to start is by drawing out a picture of each of these triangles with angles x and y. So we'll label this angle x right here for this triangle, and the opposite of that angle is going to be 4, and the hypotenuse is going to be 5, which means this angle here will be 3. Not exactly drawn to scale, but close enough for our purposes. And then another triangle y is going to have 1 and 5 as its adjacent and hypotenuse like so. So let's find this opposite angle for y. We know this line segment of this triangle is 3 because of the Pythagorean theorem. 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to 5 squared. And here we can find the line opposite of y by doing the same thing. So we'll have 25, that's 5 squared, equals 1 squared plus, we'll label this side A. So plus a squared, but now we can subtract 1 from both sides. That gives us 24 equals a squared. And finally we have a equals plus or minus the square root of 24, which is the same thing as plus or minus 2 times the square root of 6. Okay, great. But now that we're working in the second quadrant for y, we know that we're going to take on a positive value here. So I'll go ahead and get rid of this minus sign here and say that this line of the triangle, this side of the triangle right here, is 2 times the square root of 6. And now we're ready to finish this problem off because we can use the double angle formula for sine that tells us that sine of x plus y is equal to sine of x cosine of y plus sine of y cosine of x. But now we can use these triangles to figure those out. So sine of x is given to us here, that's 4 over 5. Cosine of y is also given to us here, that's negative 1 over 5. And then the sine of y is 2 times the square root of 6 over 5. So we'll put that here. And we know that that's positive because y is in the second quadrant and sine is positive in the second quadrant. And then the cosine of x is 3 over 5. And we know that that's positive as well because x is in the first quadrant and sine and cosine are both positive in the first quadrant. Okay, so let's multiply these together. We have negative 4 plus 6 times the square root of 6 over 25. And that's enough for now.